There's not like a tremendous amount of car adjustments you're really gonna want to make, but the one thing is you're gonna have way less grip. So something to think about is lowering that tire pressure down almost as much as you possibly can. So on this car, we're running like 20 in the cold, or 20 cold, and then let them warm up. And sometimes, depending on the track, we'll get down to like 14 or 12. But in the rain, we're just instantly down to like 10 or 12 PSI cold. One little tidbit, make sure you don't go too low, because that can lead to your tires debeating. But pretty much, it's just getting a little bit more grip out of the rear, a little grip in the front. Our car has a tremendous amount of grip in the front with the Achilles and the Wise Fab, so we're just kind of leaving that set how it is. And then after you do that, you're pretty much ready to get started. So with the rain, it basically changes how everything reacts. With your steering, your brakes, throttle input, clutch kicks, everything but the brakes is going to be much more fine-tuned. So a small little steering adjustment is going to have a much bigger effect in the wet than it would in the dry. As well as throttle, that's going to be the absolute biggest one. So, you know, in the dry, you may be able to just lay it down full throttle and be good to go. In the wet, there's going to be a lot more modulation, and it's just going to require a lot lighter throttle. Essentially, in the dry versus the wet, I don't know if anyone actually knows the multiplier, but you have like 10 times the horsepower. So your 400 or 500 horsepower car is going to feel like it has like 1,000 horsepower, which isn't 10 times, but you guys get the point. Keeping that in mind, throttle all the way down to the ground, your wheels are just going to light them up because you have this lubricant, the rain, just allowing your wheels to spin so much easier. The part where it gets sketchy is the brakes do not work nearly as well. That's somewhat of an obvious point if you've ever driven in rain or on ice or in snow, anything like that. But it really is something to be weary of when you're drifting in the rain, especially on a track. A fine brake input that may slow your car down could potentially just lock up the wheels and send you in a four-wheel slide. You're gonna really need to be conscious of that, and what that's gonna mean is basically when you're on track, there's less room for mistakes. If you're offline and you're coming around to this corner and you're going too fast, and you're gonna go off track, sometimes there is really like no saving it, especially when it's super wet. So that's something where you're just gonna slow everything down. Everything gets more fine-tuned. The nice thing is though, it is amazing practice because everything is slower. You can drive a little bit more extreme tracks and just kind of drive them slower basically, and you're able to get that wheel spin. So let's go try it and show you guys what we're talking about. You can see everything is like much more fine-tuned, lighter inputs. Like it barely requires much of an entry and a clutch kick to get it sliding around. It's also cheating a little bit with the bank because we do have that kind of variation and incline to kind of help it fall down the track, but everything's just much more fine-tuned. Like You're lighter on inputs here, lighter on throttle inputs. Handbrake does more, pretty much everything like that. So now you've kind of seen that, I think we're gonna go do this little course, have a little fun, and show you guys what drifting in the rain is like. So as you guys can see, everything is much more fine-tuned. Any little mistakes you make are going to be much more dramatic, as well as any inputs you put in are going to have a much bigger effect. So if you guys could see, like on the bank, the steering becomes like even smoother and just really light little adjustments, and then the throttle is a lot of modulation, just kind of finding that right spot, and it's like not nearly as heavy as if you were in the dry. So it's really about practice. I would say definitely for the first time in the rain, do not do it on a bank. It's super sketchy, especially with brakes not working as well. But go practice in a open lot or some type of track area where it's more wide open. And when I say open lot, just to protect our I mean like a sanctioned drift event in an open lot. So anyways, if you haven't, go check out some of our other videos. We do how-tos as well as automotive parodies. So those will pop up right here. Check them out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And we'll see you guys in a couple of days. Thank you.